Hi, welcome back to 16 Dorsey Tank Workshop. I'm John. In the last video I bench tested the electronics for Tiger 312. In this video we'll have a look at the electronics inside the Tiger, how it's connected up. So the first thing we'll need to do is get the motors fitted. The motor mounts are already fitted here and the motors are held in place with 3 bolts. And it's a 4mm hex head you need for this. Next, we'll fit the speed controllers in place. These are the terminals that connect to the motor. If you find when you're running that your motors are running in the wrong direction, you can just change the polarity on these, switch them around. The spade terminals are on either side. That's my speed controllers in place. Connected via the spade terminals. So I'm going with yellow on top for the moment. If the direction is wrong, I'll just reverse that. I didn't have a trolley made up for Tiger 312 yet, so I had to borrow the trolley from Tiger 212. To do this I had to drive the Tiger off the trolley on the ramps, but I had a bit of a mishap. I forgot that when I was testing the electronics for this the last time, I took the DMR 203 unit out of Tiger 212, and when I put it back I didn't make the correct connections, so almost had a disaster. So stay tuned and see how I get on unloading it off the trolley. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope if you're enjoying the video that you'll subscribe to the channel. Here's one of my homemade Tiger platforms. It's just made out of 18mm plywood. It's got the raised sections on the side, which is about track width, and it's about two thicknesses of 18mm plywood, so about 36mm. The reason it's raised is so that I can get my tank lift underneath, otherwise it wouldn't fit underneath the Tiger. So with this in place, you can raise the Tiger up off the lift to work on wheels, etc., and tracks. It's built up on casters so that you can move it around the workshop really easily. Here you can see I've got some of the electronics now fitted. I'm using my own box fittings made of aluminium to house everything. This is the speaker unit I've made. This is the sound unit. it's connected to the speaker. It's also connected to the DMR203, which is underneath here. Batteries, I have to connect terminals to the battery. And here you can see the main fuse box. This first wire powers the receiver. These two wires go to the FR12 unit, which powers the turret rotation. These two connect up to the sound unit. The next two banks of wire connect up to the 4QD speed controllers. And this one connects to the battery. We have a green light here for power to show the power is on. And this would be the turret subloom housed in my own box and everything converted to XT60 plugs. Here we have the FR12 unit, which controls turret rotation. This socket here will be connected to the batteries and will enable me to charge the batteries, accessed via the snorkel hatch. Here's the main hull area. There's not much in here. It's left fairly empty now. Everything's in the back. This connector goes from the FR12 unit to the turret rotation motor. These are the cables from the speed controllers, and they're fitted into sockets which connect to the fuse box. These other cables are the cables that go to the DMR203, which is in behind here. And here we have the 4QD VTX40 speed controllers connected via spade terminals to the motors. So lots of space for adding details to the main hull. Now you can see the deck fitted. There's the snorkel hatch and allows me access for charging. Easy access to the on-off button just here. Turret rotation motor connects via this mount just under the deck using two countersunk M4x40 screws, but I've lost the screws. I have to get some new ones. This is the socket for the turret subloom. So the turret wiring just plugs in here. Next, let's get the turret in place. So let's get the turret lid off. This turret bracket connects to the mantlet with 4 M6x10 hex head screws. I'll probably remove this when I'm fitting my own gun, but it'll give me control over elevation. Here we have the turret elevation motor fitted. It's probably best to fit this all as one unit. This mount fits to the turret with M4 screws. And this part just fits here. So when the motor runs either direction, the screw passes through this brass section here and it raises and lowers this bar, which raises and lowers the gun mantlet. And next we'll fit the limit switch over here. Here we have the limit switch in position. These bars, once the turret is rising or lowering, when it hits these, it'll switch and limit the movement. So you can adjust these by bending these bars. So when this reaches here, it'll switch off. Same below. And this is the connection for the turret motor. Here you can see Tiger 312 is now loaded onto the trolley and jacked up. When you're working on a Tiger, especially for the first time testing out the electronics, it's always a good idea to have the tracks clear, because you really don't know what it's going to do. If you have anything wrong, now's the time you'll find out. So let's switch the radio on and see how we get on. Tiger 312. Let's test the tracks. Right hand side, left hand side, reverse, this is why it's so important to have this off the ground when you're testing it. Last thing you need to do is switch on and suddenly drive off a table. Try sound. I don't have an MG fitted yet. You can connect the MG with LEDs. The beeping sound in the background is my radio starting to die, so I'll just switch off now. When I got the turret rotation, I found a problem. I've been trying various things, but what it comes down to is the motor is working. However, the gear is not engaging. It's not stuck on. It looks like originally this was fitted with some sort of strong adhesive. But now when the pressure is applied, the turret motor functions, it rotates, but the gear is spinning on the shaft. So when the turret is fitted, it's not actually doing anything. It looks like this gear is fitted on with just a strong adhesive. I don't know what that adhesive is. So I'll have to contact Armortek to find out how to secure this. I would have thought some sort of pin would have been a better way to do it. So I have no rotation for the moment. But at least I know what the problem is, and I'm sure that can be solved easily enough. And finally, let's test elevation. Sound. The sound would be for turret rotation. If I had turret rotation, that is. And engine revving. And sound off. It's a gun elevation. So next thing, charge up the batteries and get it outside. So that's all for this episode. It's a pity I couldn't get everything functioning. I still have to get that turret rotation working. It's a case of finding out how to secure that gear on the shaft. Please don't forget, if you like the videos, please subscribe to the channel. I'll put up a couple of other videos at the end.